murder. The video footage shows an intoxicated Garrett walking into the parking lot at 12:26 a.m., still drinking, while making his way to the side of the building across from the bar, a building which does not belong to Lloyd. It appears that Garrett's brother and friend remain outside to wait for him. Within a matter of seconds, Lloyd suddenly comes into view and exchanges a few words with the men before setting his sights on Garrett. But it seems that Lloyd's hand is already reaching for the firearm on his waistband. Garrett slowly makes his way toward Lloyd, unaware of what will happen. It looks as though the pair is speaking, but only for a short time. Garrett takes a few more steps, in which Lloyd seemingly pulls out his 9mm semi-automatic pistol, firing directly toward the 21-year-old. Finally, he charges forward, taking them both to the ground. Though it cannot be confirmed, it does not appear that Garrett was acting aggressively toward the shooter. Seeing as Lloyd is somewhat of an acquaintance with one of the detectives, he probably—
Just so you know, the hospital had contacted us a little bit ago, and the kid did pass away.
If you want to hold me, give me 3 or 4 days. I've got to pay estimated taxes. I'm the only one that can do it.
You just saw Lloyd Preston Brewer, a man worth more than $16 million. Just moments ago, Lloyd took the life of 21-year-old Garrett Hughes, and right now thinks he's getting away with it. But what this millionaire does not realize is that his own cameras recorded everything.
Hello, I just shot someone.
Why'd you shoot him?
He came at me aggressively in my parking lot.
Now, Lloyd will take advantage of any law he can, all to walk away from his crimes.
I mean, it's my parking lot. He's coming at me, and I'm going to maintain stand your ground all day long. What I hope comes out of this, I think this is a case for a grand jury.
On the night of Sunday, February 12th, 2023, every city in America would be watching the Super Bowl, including Key West, Florida. Among the local residents to do so were 21-year-old Garrett Hughes, his brother Carson Hughes, and 2 of their friends. They celebrated the night at a bar on Roosevelt Boulevard called Conchtown Liquor and Lounge. However, the young men were completely unaware that in just a few short hours, one of them would have their life cut short. Later into the night, another individual would make his way to the establishment, 57-year-old Lloyd Preston Brewer III. Lloyd was somewhat of a friendly face around the neighborhood, but all of this would change when he made a shocking call to the local authorities around 12:30 a.m. that night, confessing to the unthinkable.
Yes, hello, I just shot someone.
Who did you shoot?
Garrett Hughes.
Okay, why'd you shoot him?
He came at me aggressively in my parking lot at Contown.
Can you tell me where you hurt him, where you injured? Where?
In the stomach.
Is he awake?
Yes. Are you awake?
Okay, do me a favor. I need you to put the weapon away. Can you do that for me?
Yes, the weapon is set aside.
Despite the efforts of medical personnel, Garrett would not survive his injuries. Now all eyes were on the shooter. In the following hours, detectives bring Lloyd in for an interview. Through all of this, there would be one major question. Was this incident really only self-defense? And if so, did it fall under Florida's Stand Your Ground law? Florida's Stand Your Ground law allows a person to use deadly force in self-defense without a duty to retreat if they reasonably believe it's necessary to prevent death or serious harm. It provides legal immunity from arrest or prosecution if the use of force is justified.
All right, Preston. Before we start anything, because formality, I'm going to read you your rights, okay? You get your water?
I got my water.
I'm going to read your rights and go through this. I'll have you sign it just saying that I read them to you. And
Miranda rights?
Yeah. And then
I'll just sign it. I know what it says.
And then if you want to, I'll have to read them. It's a formality. And then you want to give us your story, I'm here to listen.
As detectives read Lloyd his Miranda rights, it is important to note that this is neither Lloyd's first time exhibiting violent behavior, nor his first run-in with the law. In 2021, Lloyd was involved in a domestic battery incident where he allegedly punched his girlfriend in the face and then retrieved a gun from the kitchen pantry. Fortunately, he did not fire it and signed a no prosecution agreement. In return, he agreed not to carry firearms or use alcohol excessively for 1 year and began attending anger management classes. This agreement expired in April 2022, and his domestic battery charge was dismissed. Even before that, in 2005, Lloyd was arrested for possession of methamphetamine and a firearm while he was already under a restraining order.
I have read this statement of my rights, and I understand that my rights are, or what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and I know what I'm doing. I promise. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Okay. And if I could borrow your cheaters? Because I can't see. All right. All right. Pretty much, tell me what happened. And start, if you can, just start I guess the night that you were at Contown that night?
Correct.
Okay, so go ahead and let me know, tell me what you got.
I was there for the Super Bowl.
Okay,
I was with my niece and her boyfriend.
okay,
They left. I am now single, so I hung out for a little bit longer to see if maybe a potential suitor might show up.
okay,
Nothing happened. I was ready to go home. I noticed there was a lot of activity going to and from the back door,
okay,
as we have discussed in the past.
Yes.
Correct?
yes,
So I went out back to just see what was going on. As you know, I am armed. Nature of my business, my property.
all right,
I went out back and there was not one, this was not a drug dealer, I don't think, just a guy. And he had buddies with him, and there were cars, but he was in between two cars. There were people on either side, and I guess they were all together. I don't know. They hadn't come from inside the bar. I don't know where they came from. And he's in the parking lot
okay,
and on the building. And I said, man, can't you just go I'll be honest, can't you just go in the toilet? And we exchanged words. And as it progressed, he became more agitated and approached me. And I said, look, I own this. Stop. He continued to approach. I said, I'm armed. It appeared as though he was reaching for something. The first shot went off this way. The second shot went off up in the air. To the best of my recollection, he was already on top of me. It would happen that fast.
okay,
There's no doubt I fired a weapon
okay.
because they wouldn't let me wash my hands.
All right.
It
Yeah, we'll
happened.
do that after. Okay.
It happened.
All right,
I immediately, once he was down, did not continue to assault him, set my firearm on the hood of a car,
okay,
awaiting the arrival of the police. I did not render aid because other people showed up to render aid.
okay,
And I know he's got a lot of witnesses. They're going to say a lot of different things. That's what happened from my perspective.
okay.
But I can tell you, he was on me so fast that my second shot went in the air.
Okay.
It was that fast.
According to reports, the building that houses the Conchtown Liquor and Lounge is owned by Lloyd's parents. However, Lloyd is a co-trustee and was tasked with watching over the property, in which he allegedly dealt with loitering and drug dealing issues in the parking area. As a result, he has made several complaints to the Key West Police Department in the past, and most likely knows a few law enforcement officers. Though despite what he may think, this isn't going to give him an advantage.
On my property, I've stood my ground. I've feared for my life. Period.
Okay. Just so I know, if you can, draw me a little map. You know the property. Draw me a map where it was on the parking lot. So if the parking lot's back here, like this. That's the rear parking lot, right? Okay. Let's say this is the door for Comptown?
right here.
Okay, just draw it right there, show me. It would sit by the trailers or?
No. So there was like a car, you know the way the back parking lot is?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like this, right?
Okay.
No, not over here, not, these are the dumpsters.
Right,
Right? Here's that Jeep that's been sitting there forever.
yes.
It was approximately here. There was a truck parked here. After it happened about here.
Okay,
I laid my firearm there.
okay. All right. When did you make contact with him?
As I came out,
Uh-huh.
I was walking this direction. It started here.
Okay. And where did it happen? Did the altercation happen like in the parking lot itself or?
In the parking lot itself.
Okay,
Not in the
so,
bar.
no, not in the bar. I'm saying like, well,
Were you in between the parking
in between the cars, or was that?
building here?
Right,
or
in
parked
between
towards
the-
middle
in
of the
between the
parking
cars.
lot?
Okay,
Right here.
all right,
All of that's a matter of fact,
Okay.
there's cameras everywhere. Right?
okay,
So all of that is a matter of fact.
okay,
And then as he approached me, I identified, I own all of this.
yeah,
It's all my property.
okay,
I identified myself as the owner of the property. I identified myself as being armed. He still approached and appeared as though he was going for something.
okay.
That's,
What did he tell you when you told him about, what?
we were going back, who are you? We were just going back and forth on this thing. And it just, that fast.
Okay. Did you go?
It was not a long drawn out process. It really wasn't. Because if it had been, then his buddies that were here would have, I mean,
Okay.
had they all come in together and it been a fist fight, things might have ended differently. But that dude was agitated already. I mean, you can test me for drugs or whatever. I don't know. I swear I hope he's okay. I hit him in the abdomen. I don't think I hit him with the second shot because the second shot went in the air. It was that fast.
So when the altercation happened, that you all came together, was there any contact with you on him? Did you grab him? Did he grab you? Was there any hand contact?
Not to my recollection.
Okay,
It happened so fast, but when somebody's coming at you that fast,
I got you.
it doesn't matter.
All right.
Now, if we're going to get into very minute particulars, that's what I'm going to ask for a lawyer.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you the overall scope of what happened. And the reason I asked for you is you understand the dynamics of that establishment.
Yes, I do.
And so you know I'm armed all the time. Nature of my business and what goes on back there. And really all I was doing was walking through here to see what was going on, to give you
Okay.
a call if something was happening.
All right.
That's it.
When you
You've been in contact a lot.
No, we have, and you always tell me people have been doing stuff back there. We got a good relationship.
In all honesty, I don't think they were dealing with anything. I think they were just drunk guys.
Okay.
They're local, I think.
All right.
And I can tell you, one of them's probably going to try to kill me based on
Did they say anything?
the looks. And finally, your officer that did not detain me,
Right.
really, he didn't handcuff me, but we went and sat him on back steps. Because originally I was looking at the scene, and the guy was looking at me like, yeah, I'm going to get even with you. And the officer saw it too, and he said, just come sit over here.
Right.
Look this direction.
Lloyd is likely deflecting the conversation to draw a sense of sympathy from the detective. Garrett's loved ones were understandably in a state of shock, but there have not been any reports indicating that they wanted to get even with Lloyd. At the same time, it is clear that he has a strong understanding of Florida's Stand Your Ground law, in which citizens can take any measure necessary to defend themselves if they feel that their life is being threatened. This includes the use of deadly force. However, as he maintains that his actions were purely out of self-defense, a certain piece of video footage will reveal that his recollection of events may not be entirely accurate.
Just so I get it right, you walked out of here, you were walking Just you walked out of countdown and you walk in there when you when you engaged in the
and he zipped his pants up and we had words and he came at me.
Okay.
And I mean, there's no reason for me to go with a guy that's just other than verbally, just, really go to the bar. They got 3 bathrooms.
I got you.
No. So I don't know beyond that. I didn't know him. He had no reason to have malice for me that I'm aware of.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people know me, you know that.
Yeah.
I did not recognize him as someone that I'd run into before.
Okay. All right. And as far as words, you can't remember what he told you or anything like that?
It was all, I hate to say it, but in the heat of battle, in the heat of the moment, words are exchanged. Yes. Can I be verbally abusive? Yes, I can. But did I walk up and strike him to cause him to come at me? No.
All right. Okay.
No. Look at my size. I mean, no. And my recollection is the guy was a little bit taller than I am.
All right. Did he hit you? Did he strike you?
No, he came at me in a threatening manner.
Okay.
And it appeared as though he was reaching for something, but he was coming at me.
All right.
And
did you see what he was reaching at or anything like that?
I did not.
Okay.
What do you mean by the threatening manner? Like, what could he threaten?
No, he's gonna have his words and yell like, yeah, we're gonna have issues. Because I mean, where he ended up, the best of my recollection, was outside here. Okay?
Behind the cars.
Right, outside. Now, you tell me if I'm incorrect. But so he obviously came toward me.
Okay.
Did you find him here, next to the building? No. You found him in the middle of the parking lot, which is where I was. Which means he came to me.
All right.
When you came out, where were his friends?
There was a friend. Okay, I don't know if they were his friends,
Right.
but there were other people. There were some over here and some over here, but there were cars here and here. That's my recollection. So it was like he was isolated.
So he was by himself, like standing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, like they're not sitting around watching.
Right.
Was there anybody back here by the back door? Anybody hanging out back there?
I walked out. I don't believe there was at the time. There was immediately afterwards.
Okay.
We were all kind of people everywhere.
All right.
Afterwards.
At what point did you draw on him? Was it here?
When I fired, he was about this close. Because I fired on him. It appeared as though he was reaching for something, and he's coming at me. And by the time he got that close, I fired, and he's on top of me.
Okay. Did he fall on you?
He came, yeah.
Oh, did he
My second shot went in the air.
Okay, so you fell on the ground? Do you remember if you fell on the ground and fell back?
Yeah, he came at me. Yeah, because I got up, but he wasn't on top of me by the time it all ended. He was on the ground.
Okay. So I'm just trying to.
Do you remember where he was reaching? Like, was he reaching?
It looked like on his side.
Okay.
Which is where I carry a firearm.
Okay.
I mean, there was no reason for this. This was.
Do you remember if you were holding the gun with one hand or with two hands?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Were you able to actually
When
watch out properly?
I don't know. will tell you what the best of my recollection is.
I'm sure it happened pretty fast.
2, 1. I mean, it was that fast.
Fast.
And just to get, so you walking towards him, yeah,
I'm not looking toward him, he's looking toward me.
okay.
Do you want to show?
Like, I'm trying to get like, did you fall, you said you got up off the ground?
Yeah, because when he came, my second shot went in the air.
Okay.
It was that fast.
Even though Lloyd is completely unaware that Garrett has passed at this point in time, one would normally be at least somewhat emotional after an incident like this, but Lloyd appears indifferent to the entire ordeal. He seems to think that he's in control of the interrogation and confidently affirms that his account is exactly what happened. However, he has also forgotten the fact that there are security cameras posted outside of the bar, facing directly toward the parking lot. Luckily, the entire ordeal was caught on video, and Lloyd has nowhere to hide.
And I'm gonna maintain stand your ground all day long. I mean, it's my parking lot, he's coming at me. What I hope comes out of this, I understand your job. And I understand friends don't cross that line for your job. I think this is a case for a grand jury.
Oh, that's what we're here. Do you know my job?
Yep. I think this is a case for a grand jury to investigate all of the facts.
This is something that we get all the facts. We get everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We put everything together.
And you know,
before we do anything,
I don't want to go to jail tonight, but you know I'm not going anywhere. So, you take it to a grand jury.
that's up to the state. Preston, we put everything together, we take it to the state, then they make that decision.
But you know, this wasn't a revenge thing. This wasn't one of the dealers back there. It wasn't like I was hunting somebody.
I got you.
In no way, shape, or form.
I got you. You had gone to the bar earlier. What time do you think you got to the bar?
We watched the whole Super Bowl.
The whole Super Bowl? Okay. How many drinks you think you might have had?
Probably 3.
3? Was it drinks or beers? What were you drinking? Beers?
I don't get liquor.
You just drink beer?
Oh.
Okay. And what time did you get there, you think?
We got the Uber at... You got my phone?
No, they have it, I believe. You got it in there? You got the time that you got the Uber? Okay. We could look at it. So you had an Uber took you there? So you didn't even drive there?
No.
Okay.
So the Uber took us, now at least we've learned, if you drink 1 or 2 beers, don't drive, because FHP is
everywhere right now.
everywhere.
Lloyd states that he was at the bar with his niece and her boyfriend before the couple left the establishment. It was only a short matter of time after that when all hell broke loose.
I'm gonna do the swaps in your hand for the GSR.
I don't deny that I shot a firearm.
Do you remember what hand you shot it with? Right hand?
A gunshot residue, or GSR test, detects particles of gunpowder on a person's hands, clothing, or nearby surfaces, helping to establish whether they recently discharged a firearm or if they were close to one. While Lloyd has already admitted to pulling the trigger, GSR testing is still important. It independently verifies that he fired the weapon, reinforces the prosecution's timeline when the case goes to trial, and eliminates any ambiguity about his physical role in the shooting. In court, this type of forensic corroboration is crucial, especially if the defense later tries to dispute key details or shift blame.
As you notice, I didn't run, didn't hide. Set my firearm down as soon as this situation was. Gone. Where's the recorder?
Right.
So am I spending the night at,
I don't know. This is what we're doing, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. We're gonna put everything together. Your story, their story, then
It's one of me and probably 5 or 6 of them.
And that's fine. It goes to the state, we tell them what we're gonna do, and they'll make the decision of how they want to proceed. If they're gonna take it to grand jury, if they're gonna, either way, we just, and you know how we operate. You know me for a long time. I'm not gonna.
And you know I'm not going to.
And I know that you got plenty of roots here. So based on what the state says, we'll give them both sides, we'll give them, and they'll make a decision. And you'll know. So right now, we're just putting everything together. You coming forward, you're talking to us, we'll give them that, and then they'll make the decision of how they want to.
I'm not hiding what happened.
So, no, I understand that. You've always been up front with me with no problem, so we just put everything together, and then we give it to them, and it'll go from there.
And so here's what I would ask. If you want to hold me, for whatever reason, give me 3 or 4 days. Here's why. I'm a one-man shop. I've got to pay estimated taxes. I'm the only one that can do it.
Okay.
I've got to be at my office. I don't care if you come and sit with me, just make sure I don't go anywhere.
Right.
But I've got to be able to do that.
Well,
And that's not just for
I can't make that decision, and I'm gonna tell you, I can't make that decision, that's not on me to make, but, it's something that we'll have to talk to the state about, okay? And like I said, I've always been upfront with you, there's nothing to hide, I have to do my job as far as, no matter what it is, but we gotta run everything through the state and through our boss.
Can I ask you how the fellow's doing?
Right now, he's critical. Would you consent to getting some buccal swabs from you for DNA?
No.
Okay.
You already have my DNA, I think. Why do you need my DNA?
Because when we do cases, we get DNA for everything. We just match up DNA in case we need it later on. For the case, we have it. So, it's not a big deal. If anything, if we do need it, we'll do the first one and get it. It's not a big deal at all. I ask in case the person wants to do it and get it done with, but if not, it's just, if we have to get it, we'll just do paperwork.
There was no blood, there was no fisticuffs.
I don't think there's motives.
I don't think they did. We're not gonna do the buccal swabs. Which is fine. Okay. No, perfect. Just take a picture of that. Both.
Oh, you do have those, okay.
Yeah.
But you don't have my phone back yet, or my meds.
As soon as they get the meds, we'll get them.
It's strange that Lloyd refuses to submit to a quick buccal swab, considering that he has complied with everything else. However, the detective isn't going to press the issue. In addition, although Garrett passed away hours before this interrogation took place, the detective is most likely not revealing this information to keep Lloyd talking. If the suspect knows the truth, he may ask for a lawyer before going any further. However, given his demeanor, he feels confident enough to speak without one regardless.
Does anybody else have access to the surveillance system other than yourself? For the parking lot?
No, I need to get in there and look at it.
Are you the only one that has the capability to do that, or is there somebody else that has access?
There is somebody else, but I don't give you permission yet.
You understand that we're going to need to be able to see that? You understand we're going to need to be able to see the video?
Unfortunately, that's one of the few spots that isn't clear. Because I don't have a camera sitting right here.
Right.
course, there's no audio. It's illegal to audio.
Fortunately, law enforcement does not need permission from the suspect to access video surveillance footage. However, their findings would leave them with even more questions, with one looming much larger than the others. Was Lloyd acting in self-defense, or was this a callous murder? The video footage shows an intoxicated Garrett walking into the parking lot at 12:26 a.m., still drinking, while making his way to the side of the building across from the bar, a building which does not belong to Lloyd. It appears that Garrett's brother and friend remain outside to wait for him. Within a matter of seconds, Lloyd suddenly comes into view and exchanges a few words with the men before setting his sights on Garrett. But it seems that Lloyd's hand is already reaching for the firearm on his waistband. Garrett slowly makes his way toward Lloyd, unaware of what will happen. It looks as though the pair is speaking, but only for a short time. Garrett takes a few more steps, in which Lloyd seemingly pulls out his 9mm semi-automatic pistol, firing directly toward the 21-year-old. Finally, he charges forward, taking them both to the ground. Though it cannot be confirmed, it does not appear that Garrett was acting aggressively toward the shooter. Seeing as Lloyd is somewhat of an acquaintance with one of the detectives, he probably thinks that they will take his word alone. But he has another thing coming.
So what's the over under on me going to Rick Hotel tonight?
Hotel, that's a good way of putting it. We're still working out all the details, so we're not making that decision right this second.
I would like to get in touch with my lawyer. I've asked 3 times and was denied the ability.
When did you ask for that?
When I was detained at the scene
Okay.
and when I was downstairs.
Okay. Who is your attorney?
Done. I'm not saying I refuse to cooperate. I'm saying I would like to confer with counsel.
Sure. Okay. I am not sure where your phone is, but
I don't know.
Though it is not confirmed as to whether or not Lloyd asked for a lawyer before this conversation, he still agreed to sit down with detectives and waived his rights at the beginning of the interrogation.
Before we go, just one question I want to ask, because once we get everything and go to the state. When the guy came, you said the guy came towards you, do you remember anything or any type of threatening things that he told you or anything that he made, actions? I know you said he grabbed you something.
He was coming to aggressively get me. He was taller than I was.
All right. Did he show anything, like, did you remember anything, hand maneuvers, hand things? Do you remember anything?
It was just that fast, no.
Okay, all right. All right, so I think the cover it all. We can take you out there, get that done, and we gotta do what we gotta do. Also,
But I've asked again to speak to my attorney.
okay, so that's fine, then I won't ask you anything else. If you wanna talk to your attorney.
Well, but for advice.
Okay, that's fine, if that's what, and that's fine, that's totally your right to do it. We're gonna go ahead and get you to the hospital, and once you get done with what you gotta do, we'll get you can give them a call. So we'll get it done. Right now, we're not gonna ask you anything else. We do have a warrant for the blood, which is signed by a judge, so that'll be done.
do me a favor, Mr. Burr. Can you sign and date this for me? Just shows that obviously you're the person that drew that picture.
I don't have my glasses on.
You're fine. I can read you. You want the cheaters again?
What is it, down the 11th?
Today's the 13th.
13?
Thank you. I will take that.
This could go.
Where does the gunshot residue show?
What's that?
Gunshot residue.
That right now is not showing any
It's negative.
on it, yeah. And it could happen. Sometimes these kids will show negative. All right, Preston, just so you know, I'm always up front with you, walking with you. The hospital had contacted us a little bit ago. I just talked to the detective that was out there, and the kid did pass away. So I just want to let you know that, right? Unfortunate thing, but I got to tell you, I've known you too long, and there's no need to hold anything back. But we're going to do the blood draw. They'll give you your medication out there, and then while you're doing that, we're going to do what we got to do, and then see what avenue the state wants to take. Okay. All right. They'll take you now. The gentleman that were downstairs will take you out there.
What's the over-under on this? You're honest with me. What's the over-under?
Everything's going to be bearing on what the state, they're the ones that know the stand your ground law better than any of us. We'll present it to them and see what they say. Okay, we got their story, your story. You were honest with us with what you said. And we just let them go. It's the stand your ground. The state, we've had these cases before where they're the ones that know that. They know that law better than us.
Following this interview, the Key West community rallied behind Garrett's family. A benefit concert on April 8, 2023, led by local rapper Mike Stack, raised over $50,000 for a scholarship fund in Garrett's name. In a bittersweet turn of events, his parents later reached a confidential settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit, receiving ownership of the Conchtown Liquor and Lounge property where the shooting occurred. It now remains permanently closed. As for Lloyd, he was charged with second-degree murder with a deadly weapon without premeditation, aggravated assault, and also with violation of a concealed firearm permit. When he went to trial, Lloyd's self-defense claim became the core of his legal strategy, as his attorney filed a motion to dismiss charges under Florida's Stand Your Ground laws. However, that argument has long since collapsed in court. In February of 2025, after a full evidentiary hearing, a Monroe County judge ruled that Brewer was not entitled to immunity under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. The judge concluded that Brewer was in fact the aggressor when he shot an unarmed, intoxicated Garrett Hughes at close range. The court ruled that Lloyd had no reasonable belief that he was in imminent danger, and a path was cleared for a jury trial on first-degree murder charges. As of summer 2025, Lloyd's legal team has appealed the judge's ruling on Stand Your Ground immunity, which has resulted in the case being placed in a temporary holding pattern. Simultaneously, Lloyd has also been granted a $3 million bond under strict conditions. He must surrender firearms, be placed on house arrest, and have no contact with Garrett's family. No further trial date has been set, as an appellate court weighs its decision.